Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slain Hope, and I have another video for y'all. Today's video, I'm going to be discussing reasons why black men don't protect black women. And before I get into the video, if you like my content, like it, share it, and subscribe, so you could be updated in the videos that I put out. Right. First and foremost, let me say this. Right. There's a very thin line between care and control. And I think that's one of the reasons why some of our sisters kind of like get confused when men are trying to care for them and protect them in a certain way, right? But before I even go into that, I want to say this. First and foremost, I'm a protector in my true essence, right? In my true masculine frame. That's just who I am, and that's who I believe men are supposed to be when you're living in your true masculinity, right? You're supposed to be a protector. I've always been a protector over my male friends or the woman in my life, whether it was romantically or friendships, right? If you're around me at any moment of time, I make it my priority for you to feel safe, whether that's my homies or that's shorties, homegirls, whatever. Which is why I always say a man who it never crosses his mind that he might have to kill at one point, a man who does not have that killer instinct, or who does not have those talks for themselves, saying like, at some point in time, I might have to kill, not just to protect myself, but also to protect my loved ones. If that never crosses your mind as a man, if you don't even think about that, right, that you might have to use deadly force at some point in your life, then I think you're lacking in your masculinity. That's just my opinion, and you're welcome to disagree with it. So I just wanted to put that out there first. Secondly, what I wanted to say is, it's very hard for men to protect women if they don't listen to men. If they don't want to listen to men. If they feel like I can do whatever I want to do and there should be no repercussions to what I do. And I think that's where the big problem comes from, right? I think that a lot of our sisters live in a world where they think how the world should be, and they don't live in the reality of how the world really is. I'm going to give you an example, right? The clothing that you wear. Sometimes a man might tell a woman, don't wear that, right? And a woman might perceive it as, this man is trying to control me, right? This is why I said there's a thin line between care and control. It doesn't mean I'm trying to control you, right? It means that I'm a man, I got male friends, I'm living in my masculinity, and I navigate masculine, the manosphere. So I see what's going on, right? So when I tell you, maybe you shouldn't wear that. Now, if you with me, I don't mind, because I'm gonna protect you to the best of my ability, right? But the whole thing is this: when you go out on your own, when you go out there and you wear certain things, it brings certain type of attention to you that you might not want. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, I should be able to wear, again, should be, because you love living in the should, not the reality of what life really is. So some people say, I should be able to do whatever I want, I should be able to wear whatever I want, and I should not be harassed, I should not be raped, I should not be violated because of what I'm wearing. And I agree with you 1,000%. Just because you're wearing certain things does not mean or does not give men the right to address you a certain way or to do certain things to you. However, just because, again, that's how it should be, it does not mean that's how it is. And it is fucked up. It is a messed up world out there. All right? So I'm agreeing with you. But again, however, the realities is that men are gonna talk shit. You're gonna get more attention. You're gonna get a little bit more harassed, or it could be worse, right? Just look at the Instagram pictures that get the most likes, that get the most attention, right? It's usually the pictures where you're showing your body parts or showing skin. So we have to be cognizant of what's really going on in society. The same thing applies for men. I know I can't go out there and wear certain things because I'm going to get profiled and treated a certain way myself. When I wear do-rags, when I wear hoodies, You know, when I wear athletic clothing and I go into certain places, people are going to look at me a certain way too. Police profile men who wear certain things, right? So this is not just a thing for women. It's also a thing for men. When you dress a certain way, you're going to attract certain type of attention. It's almost like when men wear jewelry. When men wear jewelry, they attract certain type of attention that could lead to them getting harmed, robbed, or other things. So we have to be mindful of what's going on in the world and how the world is going to interact with us based on what we wear. So this is what happens. Sometimes you tell a sister not to wear this. She think you're trying to control her. She does whatever she feels. Now you go out there, men are violating you. And then you're saying things like, why can't men be different, right? Now let me explain this to you. It's easier for me to talk to my lady and tell my lady, you know, wear something different, than for me to try to talk to all the men in the world and try to tell them, don't harass women, don't rape women, don't violate women, don't objectify them, don't do this. It's easier for me to tell you. And if you can't understand that it's easier, I know it's messed up. You don't like it, you got a problem with it. But listen, have some rationale for a second. It's easier to tell you, protect yourself, over me trying to communicate to the millions of men who are gonna do this, right? It's easier. So if you can't see that, that's part of the issues right there. You won't listen to me. Another example I give you. Sometimes you tell women, don't hang out with some of those friends that are always fighting or are always in problems. Or don't go to this club. I'm gonna give you another scenario. If I tell you, don't go to this club, you know, I hear that they're always shooting over there. There's always some fights. They always getting into something. And you tell me, I don't care what you say, because again, you think I'm trying to control you. I'm going to go to the club anyway, or I'm going to go hang out with these problematic friends anyway. You're not listening to me because you think I'm trying to control you. And I'm just coming from a place of care. If I'm your protector, right, I have a responsibility over you when you get into problems, when you get into situations, when you need my help. So if I ask you, can you minimize your interactions, right, in a certain way so that you can make it easier for me to do my job? If you got a problem with that, then it's hard for you to, you can't really expect my protection. Because at the end of the day, I got to think about myself, right? It's just like some women that start trouble. They go out there, they run their mouth, they start trouble with other men, and then they say things like, I'm gonna call my boyfriend. I'm gonna get my brother. I'm gonna get my pops. I'm gonna get this. And then they get their male relatives into certain situations that they started, that they chose not to diffuse, right? Sometimes the men started, don't get me wrong. But my whole point is, some women are out there not really thinking about the safety of their men when they go out there and when they decide not to listen to some of the brothers when we're trying to tell you certain things. It's very hard, you know? That's, protection works both ways. When a woman chooses to diffuse the situation between her and the man, it's because she's cognizant that I know how my man is, or I know how my father is, I know how my brother is. I don't have women tell me that. I don't have women tell me like, I'm not calling my, if I really care about my father and my boyfriend and my brother, why would I call them with any little situation? Why? So I could put them in harm's way, so they could go to jail, so they could possibly get killed. And a lot of women don't think like that because, again, they come in from an emotional frame in the moment. They are angry and they want justice, or they want something being done to a person that is violating them or disrespecting them. Another example I give you. For example, in Islam, the covering, right? When the verses of covering yourself was revealed, it was because at one point in Arabia, right, what is now known as Arabia, when the woman used to go outside at night to urinate, you know, all the women were dressed the same, right? So a lot of prostitutes used to be outside after hours, right? So when the regular women who were not prostituting would go outside to urinate, they would be harassed by the men who were looking for prostitutes because they all were dressed the same. They barely had anything, right? So when the law revealed to cover yourself so that the men might be able to distinguish you as believing women, right? The covering was revealed as a protection. And then you have some women, especially women in the West, they're looking at it like it is an oppressive thing. Again, this is why I say there's the thin line between care and concern that our sisters don't understand. So some sisters are looking at it like they're trying to control me because they can't see the wisdom of when you're covered, it's better than when you're not covered. I'm not saying that men do not approach women who have clothes on. I'm not saying that men do not approach women who are covered, because men do. What I'm trying to highlight is what is more likely to happen. Is the woman with less clothing getting approached or the woman fully clothed getting approached? More likely is the woman with less clothing. We got to be real. And if you don't believe me, because some of y'all going to be in denial, you can go look at your own Instagram pictures or just go look at women pictures on Instagram, and you're going to see which pictures get the most likes, get the most comments, get the most attraction, if you don't believe me. So anyway, the verse was revealed to protect women. Just like there's another thing instituted in Islam for a woman not to travel on her own without a mahram. A mahram is a male relative, right? Because that's for her protection. This is why I don't mind when some girls go out with other girls, right? Because they do that for their own protection. Because they know it's not safe out there sometimes to be walking around as a woman by yourself. And it's sad that we live in a world like that. It's not the woman's fault. I'm not trying to blame the victims. It's sad that we live in a world like that, but we have to take precautions. We have to be cognizant that the world is an ugly place, and we have to be proactive, not reactive. Don't wait for something to happen to you to decide to change your ways. And a lot of women get into that, and I'm sorry that something had to happen to them in order for them to start changing up the way they dress or start changing up the way they do things. It's a sad thing. Protect yourself before you get into those things. I say all of that to say this. You ain't got to listen to me. You can keep doing what you're doing. You ain't got to take my advice or adhere to my insight. But I can't fully protect you. I just can't. I can't risk my life for a woman who won't even consider mine, who won't even consider my thoughts and my opinions. My protection is conditional, you know, on conditions that you listen to some of the things that I'm trying to tell you. And it's not control, it's just care, and it's just me trying to give you some tips about what's really going on out there. The same way I have to move a certain way in the world that's going to profile me and target me a certain way, it's the same way I expect you to move, right? So it's okay though. Some of you sisters feel like y'all don't need men to protect y'all. Y'all got it under control. It is what it is. So don't expect brothers to jump out the window, because see, interactions between man to man tend to end up more deadlier than man to woman, right? So when men come to jump out to the defense of women, a lot of times, dudes end up getting killed, man. They end up going to jail. Shit ends up real bad, and we don't talk about this. We don't talk about how many brothers are in the graves behind some woman or in jail behind some woman, right? So I think brothers have a responsibility to make it home every night, to be safe, especially when it comes to like just having issues when things could have just been prevented and avoided. So the whole point is this, right? When I'm trying to protect my lady and tell you, don't go outside with that, you know? Or don't go to this place. Don't put yourself in a certain vicinity or around certain people. Don't do that. Don't look at it like it's control. I'm trying to minimize my interactions, and I'm also trying to make sure you're safe. So I'm trying to make sure we both safe. Okay? I'm trying to make sure we both safe. And hopefully some people watch this video to the end and they really get to see where I'm coming from. Because a lot of our sisters, they just think it's about control and that they can do whatever they want to do without repercussions. And that's just not how the world works. The world don't work like that. Everybody's going to judge us based on our appearance. They could be wrong, they could be right, but the whole point is they still going to do it. That's just the world we live in. So let's focus on the realities of how the world actually is and not how the world should be. Hopefully I said something that's beneficial. Let me know what y'all thoughts are in the comment section. Have a good one. Peace.